The search continues for two people who were swept away in the flash floods at the uMshwathi near Pietermaritzburg in KwaZulu-Natal. This comes after heavy rains battered the area last night, leaving houses and roads severely damaged. Rescue teams found the body of a woman in her 40s earlier today. The heavy rain left hundreds of people homeless. Today, families were trying to salvage some of their belongings scattered along the riverbank. Authorities say temporary shelter is being provided to the affected families. Disaster management teams remain on high alert as more rains are expected. Let's unpack this now with the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Velenkosini Hlabisa. Minister, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. We still have quite a severe weather warning from the South African Weather Service about inclement weather conditions in KZN. And so this means that this disaster that's unfolding might not be entirely at the tail end of it just yet. Talk to us about what the integration has been of the different departments and functionaries into responding to this crisis.
Good evening, my brother, and also evening to the viewers of SABC. Let me firstly convey our condolences to the families affected and also be in solidarity with those whose members of the families are still missing and all those who have lost property. I've just concluded a meeting of the Intergovernmental Committee on Disaster Management, which combines all key departments at a national level and provincial level, including premiers. As you were aware that even in G20, the issue of disaster risk reduction was a key focus area on Saturday. We are living in a time where disaster is affecting us day in and day out. Our human settlement as a first department in terms of people who have lost their shelter, they have been activated, and tomorrow, because we see one challenge, water has not subsided as the search is being done for the two still missing people. We will be on board as a national government to join hands. I'm gonna be coordinating also with Minister Motshekga because the soldiers are better equipped to assist in terms of the challenges around the search and rescue as we see the devastation. But above that, we are on alert because South African weather services have indicated that many provinces, as from tomorrow, might experience heavy rains. And we would want to appeal to our people to heed the call when they are requested to vacate their areas to safer places of accommodation until indications come from the early warning signs that the heavy rains have subsided.
Minister, given that we do have early warning signs of inclement weather and we know the vulnerabilities of KwaZulu-Natal, particularly low-lying areas in KwaZulu-Natal, why have we not begun to engage in robust pre-disaster or preemptive evacuations to ensure that we don't have the level of displacement, damage and loss of human life that we see play out season after season? We know it's coming. Surely there could be a lot more proactive responses.
Indeed, prevention is less costly than trying to rebuild after destruction. There is a common agreement that one, because you need the availability of land where you will relocate people to. So now there is a common agreement of a joint approach with our traditional leaders, our municipalities who own the land and who can even engage the private sector like farmers who own the land so that we engage and persuade people who are on floodplains to relocate, it will be a second step to mobilize funding, because KwaZulu-Natal and Eastern Cape, we have many people on floodplains whom we must persuade, and we will need the cooperation of everyone in persuading them, including political parties across the spectrum, because most people belong to various political parties. A joint approach is what we're going to be doing now to start to persuade them. But you must firstly have land. Where are you going to allocate them? Even if you can have financial resources through human settlement, but what land are you going to locate them and build houses for them? Yes, we know some resist because they have bigger houses, but through engagement and persuasion by all sectors of society, that is the way we are going to go now.
Minister, how much funds are available in the disaster relief and disaster management kitty, particularly when we look at the province of KZN, who often have to rely on a national response to disasters in the province?
The way how money is allocated, firstly, there need to be an assessment of the current disaster in KwaZulu-Natal. It cannot be funded immediately. When the Minister of Finance was making the medium-term budget statement, there is an allocation of money which is going to go to Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Free State, Gauteng, and Mpumalanga. That allocation is not going to address what we are seeing now on the visuals. This will only be addressed once we have received assessment, verification of assessment, and then do costing accordingly. There is an amount of about, it's about 5 billion, which the Minister of Finance indicated, which is going to be allocated accordingly on the basis of the already assessed damage in the provinces that I indicated. Of course, in other provinces, we'll have a challenge because there is a money we released in March. There is a money we communicated also towards June. And some of the municipalities have not given us a feedback, but good enough. Some have given feedback. They continue to report how are they spending the money. And on the basis of the report we are receiving, when it is time to dispense the allocation that is going to follow, we will follow how the municipalities respond. But I must indicate, we will not punish the communities.
Yeah.
If municipalities are unable to report, we will use other means to get the infrastructure rebuilt other than being done by municipalities.
Yeah. Minister, can I just for a second move on to different issues? And this is the declaration of gender-based violence and femicide as a national disaster. You had gazetted it as much. Your responsibilities now are to draft the regulations and promulgate the regulations that speak to the management of gender-based violence and femicide as a national disaster. How far along in that process are you, and what are the focus areas of the regulations that you are to draft and promulgate?
The classification was done on Friday, which is different from declaration. And on Friday evening, we issued an invitation. I've just finished a meeting which I was referring to previously, which has all ministers, premiers, and HODs, DGs, as well as MECs. The classification is a shorter road than declaration, because if you make a declaration, you need to make regulations, you need to activate emergency measures. But classification, which we did on Friday, one, immediately it activate all departments. That is why we had a first meeting tonight, and we have agreed in this meeting tonight, because a number of suggestions came from all stakeholders. We had SALGA in the platform, We had, as I've said, premiers, MECs. The team of DGs will come up with a program of action because gender-based violence and femicide, we need to handle it as we did to COVID-19.
How soon can we expect a comprehensive?
To
How soon can we expect a comprehensive plan from you, Minister?
on the 3rd of December, which is on Wednesday next week, is a joint meeting of all DGs, and they will come up with a comprehensive plan. But tomorrow, this matter, I have submitted a memo to the Cabinet Committee so that we engage deeper at a Cabinet level, which I presume there will be a further engagement in a full Cabinet on the 2nd next week. So now, before we go to holidays, we will roll out a comprehensive plan to be aggressive on GBVF in order to bring it to an end. This should be a whole of society approach activity, churches, traditional leaders, NGOs, civil society, all three spheres of government, as we did to bring to an end the death of our children through spaza shops. We need to draw a line on this matter of GBVF because one contributing factor is alcohol and substance abuse. I'm not blaming it alone, but if you look at people who get arrested for killing women, for raping women, there is a high element of drugs, alcohol, and substance abuse. A hard line needs to be taken on these items if we mean to cut down the amount of GBVF, which is devastating our society.
We're going to have to leave it there. Minister Velenkosini Hlabisa, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. That is the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs.